I'd like to begin this by introducing myself. I'm Dion Magnan, and I'm the owner of the community known as TWS. We're a gaming community, and we play various games like RuneScape, Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto. And a few weeks ago, our Minecraft server was down, and in the meantime, until the 1st of next month, I decided it would be a good idea to keep them all together and still play Minecraft. Only about 1/3 of the community even plays Minecraft though, but I still wanted to keep them, into Minecraft so they didn't lose interest in it. So what I did was I went onto my forum website, it's got about 400 registered members, and I put your server's IP address on the top of it, okay, and I did that in the hope that they would join me so that I'd have some players to play with on your server, and it worked, and a bunch of people joined, and what we did was, when we left the town, we were getting, killed, so I decided it would be a good idea for us to find a base far away, so we went into the ocean, okay? And everything went well for a while there. We griefed a few things, because we didn't know there was an anti-griefing. We thought raiding meant griefing, so we went to the lighthouse and we stole a whole bunch of diamonds from there, and eventually we realized that griefing was against the rules, right? Obviously. So what I did was I made a map, and on that map I included all the places that we had broken the rules, so you would know. And it's been going good. We've been having a good time. I haven't played since the 1.7 update, so I'm seeing a lot of new things on the server. I think it's pretty neat. The big issue is that our first day playing, okay, there was an admin, or a moderator, Lord Arcane, and he, since day one, has been causing us nothing but problems. On my first day in the server, I asked in help, because I figured out it was /H, just because I seen there was an H at the beginning. I figured how to use that out on my own. I typed in help, how do I chat with my friends? Is there a local chat? And Lord Arcane's reply was, figure it out, bro, I did it myself. And that was my first time ever interacting with Lord Arcane. That was our first exchange of dialogue. So I was like I didn't reply because I didn't want to piss him off, so I didn't say anything. I just didn't say anything. And then the next day, my friend Ant103010, he asked in help, how do I invite somebody to a party? And Lord Arcane said, really? And then capital letters, really? And then lowercase letters again, really? So he said it 3 times. And then he said, are you that much of a noob that you don't know this? There's no way to invite somebody to a party. They can join. You do /join. Don't be a noob and don't ask stupid questions. 7 minutes later, we found out the command was /invite. So there was, in fact, a way to invite somebody. So this was our second exchange with Lord Arcane. And at that point, I told Ant about the previous incident, and Ant was just like, well, he's a moderator. What can you do? So we went to the island, and things were going pretty well. At that point, Jackin555, the owner of the lighthouse, teleported to us, and he said, hi, you took my diamonds, right? And I was like, yeah, sorry about that, dude. Your structure's my favorite thing in the whole server. I didn't know you were the owner of that, and we made up. So Jackin555, he cleared a patch of area for us to build on, and we thanked him. And every day since that day, he's visited us once a day, and we like him. He's our favorite admin. So he's cool. I think on the 3rd day, or the 2nd day, I can't remember, but we had about 7 players online, okay, on our 2nd or 3rd day, and simultaneously, like 4 of us were banned. We didn't know why. It was like, we were just like, what the hell? I was included, and my friend Sithmare, I think, was included, and Tsunami, and Ant103010, and like all of us were banned, okay? So one of the people who weren't banned asked the admins, why are they banned? They didn't, we were sitting in a circle, Helian Archer was away from the keyboard having a cigarette, and we didn't know, like, what happened. So Lord Arcane ended up saying, oh, it was a mistake, a ban, sorry about that, and so, like, we were unbanned, right? Well, anyway, to this day, Tsunami remains banned, and he never wants to come back. So at that point, there were a bunch of mistakes made, and everyone kept banning us over the next 2 days. I think I got, two other people got banned the next day, and that ended up becoming a mistake also. So over the next 2 days, I think, there were a few more bans, and all of them ended up somehow having something to do with Lord Arcane, because he was always the one who would answer for it and help when we asked why, and like none of the other mods would say anything, only him, and he would always say, sorry, it's a mistake or something. So it kind of became a repetitive thing, but we don't know if that's like a regular thing for the server or not, so we didn't know if we should like make a complaint or whatever, you know, so we just kind of carried on with what we were doing. We were far away from the land, we didn't have to deal with anybody except for when he private messaged us. Now, between all of these interactions between my clan and Lord Arcane, there was nothing said between us. Okay, we didn't ask him for help, we never talked in the help channel, we never private messaged him. There was no interaction between us and any other players. The next day, I asked in help, is it possible to spawn in your town? And then he, once again, in capital letters, typed, really? Really? You don't know this? And I said, no, I don't play Minecraft that much. And he said, what did he say? I have it on the computer screen. You're one of these people that expects to be spoon-fed, and it's friggin' annoying. Your question can be answered by visiting one of the NPCs. You should have known that. Are you a noob? You must not be computer savvy. And all of that was said. That was all said in about 5 or 6 messages, and like I didn't say anything. That was my only time I said one line out of that whole exchange. I said one line, and he said like 6 lines. And I'm reminding you again, we haven't had any interaction with him between the incidents I've been telling you about. There's been no exchange of words between him and our clan, and all these incidents I just told you are the only times we spoke to him thus far in the story. So at this point, we're sure, well, something's wrong here. Like, this guy's, something's up, like he doesn't like us or something. Well, I think it was the next day, you asked me to join the TeamSpeak channel, so I joined it. And I logged in as Assassin Leader. And the first thing that was said was, I didn't recognize the voices, but I seen like the things were, like the little buttons were changing color when they logged in or whatever, when they were talking, sorry. And one of the guys was like, who's Assassin Leader? And then someone's like, that's Helion Archer. And then Lord Arcane's like, oh, that fucking guy's pissing me off, man. That kid's a fucking noob. And then Mize said, kick him then. You should just kick him. And then Seeker said, yeah, he's the leader of the new assassins. And like in my mind, like I don't have a mic, so I'm thinking, like as I'm hearing this, I'm thinking like new assassins. Like, what, is there an old assassins? So over the next day after that, I logged off the TeamSpeak as soon as that happened. I had no reason to be there. I didn't have a mic. They were not being receptive to courtesy, so I was just like, whatever, I'm done. You know, I'm going back in the game. So I went back in the game, and I think it was the next day. I asked. I don't know who I asked. I think it might have been Jack555 or somebody. And I asked. I said, who's the old assassins? And someone's like, oh, their leader is Seeker. So I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Seeker was the guy in the channel. So, and then I started to put 2 and 2 together, right? And I'm starting to think, like, maybe they have something out for me because I'm, like, the leader of a new clan or something, you know? So at that point, I told everyone on the island, I said, you guys stay on the island, you don't bring anybody to the island, and you never leave the island because we have no reason to associate with these people if they're going to be like this. You know, I didn't insult them, I didn't say anything rude about them, I didn't message any of them. Nothing. I only talked to my clan, okay, and all I said to the clan was, we should stay away from the mainland because these people don't seem to be receptive to us. That's all I said. I didn't talk bad about anybody. I'm sure, you know, if you doubt anything I say, you can check the logs. I'd assume you would have access to those. So, everything on the island was good, apart from the occasional private message from Lord Arcane. And they would always be random things, like we wouldn't initiate the conversation. Like, he would send it to us first, and it would be like, do you still need to be baby fed? Or like nasty shit. I'll show you the screenshots at the end of the video. So, we all started to realize, like, this guy was, like, there's something wrong. So at that point, I made those reports on the forums, and, like, there was no response to those. So I don't know if you saw them or not. But at that point, I realized, like, something's got to be done about this, so I reported him, okay? And the next day, I went on TeamSpeak. I think this is, like, day 7 or 8 or something. I've only been on the server for 10 days. And I log into TeamSpeak, and Lord Arcane messaged me. Like, I was in the standard channel that you automatically log in when you enter TeamSpeak. It's, like, at the top of the list. And it was Lord Arcane, Seeker, Mize, and I don't know the other name. And as soon as I logged in, Lord Arcane's like, oh god, it's Helion Archer. Helion, move, bro. And, like, I like, went to, like, click to talk to him. And he's like, bro, hurry up and move. And then he, like, moved me out of the channel. Like, he moved me out of the channel, out of the main channel. So I clicked back in it, you know, because I didn't know if I might have misclicked something, but, like, I read the logs later that he did do it. But at that point, I didn't know, so I went back into it, okay, and I was like, is something wrong? And then he kicked me, or sorry, no, he banned me. Yeah, he banned me for 24 hours. And I think at that point, you visited our island, and I think I said to you something about this, about how I got kicked from TeamSpeak or something. And so you told me that you would talk to him, and I said, don't talk to him. I want to show you this video first. And, well, I assume you ended up talking to him anyway, because the next day you ended up saying, is Lord Arcane bothering you anymore? And, like, I just got on that day, right, so I hadn't seen him yet. So, that night, he came to our island, and he spawned an Ender Dragon, okay? And I was like, why did you spawn an Ender Dragon? And he's like, I'm trolling you. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? You know? And, like, the Ender Dragon flew away. So I guess, like, it didn't, I guess he expected it to do something, or what, but it flew away, right? But if we would have had, like, the damages turned on in our city, then that would have destroyed our whole city. So at that point, I seen you the next day, and I told you, you know, he spawned an Ender Dragon, and you're like, well, do you have screenshots? I was like, yeah, I do have screenshots. And then, I don't think you replied to that. And at that point, I told you, you know, we were thinking about quitting. At one point, Lord Arcane randomly private messaged me. He initiated this conversation as usual. And he just randomly messaged me, and he said, what have you contributed to the server? And I was like, I talked to Dan. Me and him agreed to donate. And I guess he ended up going on TeamSpeak there, and he started to talk to everybody. And he ended up talking to you, I guess. And he asked you if I donated yet, and you said no. And then he comes up back onto the game there, and he's like, you didn't donate! You said you donated, and you didn't! And I guess he went on TeamSpeak there, and he started saying to everybody, Helion says he donated, but he didn't. And even now, 15 minutes ago, he's still harassing me about it. I never said I donated. I never said I donated. I said that I am going to donate, but the amount of maturity that this guy has shown, why the fuck should I even talk to him about donating? The money exchange is between me and you, not him. Now, as the owner of a Grand Theft Auto server with over 7,000 registered accounts, there's about 400 on our forums, but in-game there's 7,000 registered accounts. I know what it's like when a random Borat, bitch-ass twerp walks up and says, I'm quitting this server. So, I don't want to leave like that, but if something's not done about this situation with Lord Arcane, we're leaving. In this image, you'll see a few windows are open. The middle window is my final time being on the server. I logged on 15 minutes before I made this video, and I walked 2 blocks. It was my first time online all day, and Lord Arcane kicked me for being Helion. And in the other windows, you can see my gaming community's chat windows open. We have that on at all times, so we can tell whose computer's on and whose isn't, so we can say, like, hey, come play this game with us. And in the chat, you can see that Rebel Nightmare, who is also known as Sithmare on your server, he was also kicked randomly. So we both logged in, and we were both kicked instantly, just for stupid reasons, just for no reason. He's just having fun. Lord Arcane's just having fun with this. This image takes place immediately after another random kick. I was walking through the jungle and I seen 3 people that were swinging their arms at each other, so I crept up onto a hill and I shot an arrow. And I got kicked, so I logged back in and I said, LOL, I can't PvP on this server. I'm reporting that kick. And at this point, he had already spammed my private message over the last 3 days, so, you know, I was starting to lose patience. And this is the only hostile thing I think I've ever said to him. I'm reporting that kick. And he said, yeah, but not to a builder with creative. But, like, why would he kick me then? If they don't take damage and that's already part of the game script, why would he kick me if they're not getting damaged anyway, you know? Like, I don't know, I just got the impression he was just trying to show off to his friends or something. In this image, I had just asked in help, how do I spawn at my town? And Mod Ryan, he gave me a good reply. It was, there is town spawn, which costs $100 to go to, with a smiley face, and I was happy. It's a good answer, I got what I needed. And then 40 seconds later, now this is just one of the many times that Lord Arcane spammed my private message. 40 seconds later, he said, randomly, you're one of those people that expects to be spoon-fed. So I'm like, bro, get a life. I'm thinking, he's 33 years old. This has got to be the 7th time he's sent me like 6 messages in a row. And it's freaking annoying. So I just said, stop spamming my private messages, that's annoying. In this image, a player had just joined the server, I think, a new player, Hacky or something, I don't know how to say that. And he simply said, any admin in here? Lord Arcane, you had better have a good question. I was wondering about buying a town and how and where. I broke a rule here, I gotta admit that. I was like, LOL, so polite. And then Hacky just kind of agreed with me with a little anime eyes or something. And then here is when he spawned that ender dragon on my island. And I was like, what did you just spawn? Bro, what the fuck? Because he like teleported to me for no reason, and then I'm just glad that I had the damages turned to disabled. In this image here, I think this was actually last night there, I just wanted to maybe patch shit up with him, you know? So I sent him this message, and I was like, for a map of the server, click, and then I put the link, and I was like, press the chat button, and then click the link. And like, for some, it's just so negative. He just sends me this fucking, that face there. It's just like, why the face, you know? Like, what the, like, Jesus Christ, I just forked out an hour charting the fucking ocean for your server, you know, and you're gonna send me a disappointed face? I'm gonna show you a little video I took about 15 minutes ago, and it's an exchange between me and Lord Arcane using TeamSpeak. Okay, so I'm gonna ask him, so why did you just kick me for being Helion? Let's go to OK. Let's see what he says. It's taking him a while to reply to that.
Hey, wake up.
Pokes, you just trolling. What the fuck is this? Okay, so this is like, I don't know, probably about 7 seconds after I just ended the last video. He's like, and
Hey,
you've already had
up.
enough chances, in my eyes. Okay, so I'm just gonna reply with this. Okay, what rules have I broken? I've never broken any rules. I've obeyed all the server rules. I've never spawn killed, I've never griefed, I've never done anything. Well, I griefed once, but I put all my locations of my griefing on the map, so there wouldn't be any confusion about that. So, let's see if he replies with what rules I've broken, because, I mean, I've never broken any rules.
Hey, wake up.
Okay. Armstrong's has screens of you violating NC. What's NC mean? What the fuck? Okay. Poke client. What does NC mean? I
Hey, wake up.
I have corroborative proof that you did not pay $30 for... I never said I paid $30.
Hey, wake up.
No cheat. What? I'm fucking... What the fuck does this mean? And I have a screenshot of what is clearly World Edit on your base. What the fuck is he talking about? I'm replying to this. I'm saying I don't understand any of what you're saying, because I don't understand what this means.
Hey, wake up.
And it's not even as good as our base. What the fuck? Now he's saying that our base isn't good? Jesus Christ. This guy's 33 years old, and he's sitting here harassing me. I've done nothing to him. I haven't messaged him all day. Jack555 edited our...
Hey, wake up.
Claiming ignorance is no excuse. Okay, I'm done. I'm done playing this server.